So this is the funny thing, because I don't
burn bridges.
No, I don't burn the bridge. I burn everything. So what happens when I walk in?
I must learn from you.
So when I walk into the room, they don't even make eye contact. It's like eyes to the floor, because they know I have receipts, I have screenshots, I will email, I will tweet, I will Instagram, I will burn this village to the ground.
I suspect that's why when I flamethrow, there's only one person that responds, which is Lindsay LaPointe's boyfriend, Rich Miller, right? He's the only person that responds because all the other legislators know I have receipts.
Yeah, like I'll put it out there.
I was thinking about this today.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if I should say this, because then people will be like, well, you should have said something. Maybe I won't to say it. So I won't. I'll tell Ken off the air. And then he'll tell me if it's okay.
But no,
Ken will decide if it's appropriate.
I've always been a believer in never delete anything. So I have a whole drive on my email of phone calls, text.
I'm saying I got
one. You look at me the wrong way at the wrong gala after the wrong amount of cocktails, I will put it out there.
Yeah.
So I don't have that issue.
Like I said, the only person that comes at me is Lindsay's boyfriend, right? Because he has a position of power as one of the most powerful political bloggers. He does cap facts for folks who don't know. But I similarly have receipts, and I think that's why when I throw bombs, what I mean by like I throw angry things online.
Yeah.
They don't say anything.
Well, because I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. And you're a lot of things, and you're not a liar.
So prove me wrong. Say where the lie is.
Yeah. So if we're going to have an issue, let's have all the issues.
Let me just put it this way. There were two legislators in Minnesota who are being investigated by ethics committees. And here's the thing, like, because when I was in Springfield over a decade ago, I was there as a media person. Yeah. And also the mistake that I made was also making friends with. I mean, like I started out because I'm a commentator. I'm a media, but I'm not a journalist.
Right.
So I sort of had this very strange gray territory. So there were assumptions made that I would not talk, I guess, right? So and I haven't, and then I feel like I also did not do my due diligence of making sure people were held accountable. So the comparison I'm making is that two legislators in Minnesota are being investigated for leaving during committee hearings to go have drinks at the bar across the street, and then came back, did some votes, and then later the two Republicans, and then later one of them was pulled over for DUI. And his passenger was also intoxicated with a weapon, who was also a legislator. And then, but they're doubling down. The Republicans are like, oh, the Democrats have been drunk at the wheel the whole time. Like that's their whole thing. One of them is running for state auditor. Right, I'm not saying there are any legislators in Springfield who have ever done similar things, or possibly on the floor of the General Assembly.
But this is what I have to say to that. And I hate to be this person. And please don't tweet me or Facebook me or Instagram, because I'm going to say it. Were they caught? Though
they were caught.
No. But that would be my response when the Republicans are like, "Well, Democrats, were they caught?"
Right.
Because if they weren't caught, we're not talking about that right now.
Exactly.
We're talking about these guys that were caught.
But they were caught, but they weren't even. They weren't no charges, nothing.
Surprise!
I'm just saying. Anyway.
Surprise.
So that you can find that story on heartlandsignal.com, by the way. Our news team here has covered that story. We have a great show ahead of us.
We really do.
It's mostly us.
And that's what makes it great.
Coming up at 5:30, we have Kira Pilate-Jean, who is a nurse at Rush University.
Yes. I'm excited to talk to her.
The nurses are filing a petition for a union election. And,
good for them.
They are so the National Nurses Organizing Committee, National Nurses United, they are the fastest growing union and professional association of registered nurses in the country, so there are a lot of places. I know there have been stories all over the country. It's only going to get worse as these big hedge fund investors buy up hospitals. Like an emergency room can be a separate entity from the hospital. So if you are you go to the emergency room and then you go into the hospital, your insurance might not even be covered there.
And that is I remember years ago, and I know this is not real, but Grey's Anatomy kind of did a whole storyline based on, for-profit hospitals and how they don't benefit us, and how our insurance companies and these for-profit hospitals are really ripping us off.
Yeah.
And they're killing us.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really are understanding that it is damaging, especially to our most marginalized, our low income. People are dying.
Yes.
It's horrible.
And it's going to get worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know who says that healthcare is a human right and that universal healthcare is necessary?
Jesus?
His spokesperson in Rome.
Yes.
Agrees.
Yes.
So the Pope.
The Pope.
The Pope. This has been very strange. So on Easter Sunday,
Yes.
about the same time, I learned that Trump had gone on it. Drowsy Donnie had done this whole you open the effing straight.
That wasn't even drowsy. That was dementia Don.
Well, now there's a whole whole thing. Have you seen today after the Melania?
Yes.
Gave some weird. There's a whole He's f-bombing everybody, like Alex Jones, making fun of him for the Sandy Hook shootings.
I've seen it all. Telling
Candace Owens that the Macron, the First Lady of France, is better looking than her. What he is? Come on, folks.
This is kind of like, and I don't use this metaphor loosely. When you're in the car with someone, you're a kid. And you're in the car with your drunk dad. Oh. And because I've been there, I'm going to own that. Sorry. And you know that this is bad. But you're looking at your mom and she's not doing anything. And you're just a kid in the back seat going, oh my God, what is that is how I feel with the state of the country right now. I feel like we have crazy in the front seat.
Yeah.
And then we have Congress, the mom, and nobody's doing anything, and I'm just in the back seat going,
this is fine.
This is not okay, but I don't have the wherewithal to fix it by myself. That's what this all feels like. And if you've never been in that situation, good for you. My therapist if you have been, my therapist is taking on new clients. It feels that way.
I think you've said something really important because I have had moments of feeling like I was in an emotionally abusive relationship because I have been in my 20s. So similarly, I think a lot of trauma.
Yes.
I think a lot of trauma response. I don't think we're talking about that enough.
It's very traumatic because we all know something really bad is going on. And you know, our mainstream media is not making a big deal. Like,
oh my God.
That whole Easter tweet.
Oh, my God. So, demands the straight opens. I'm sorry, vulgar, laden, crazy rantings on Easter.
What is happening? And it's like the media goes, well, he made this tweet. Stop. He used the F word. He's the president of the country in his Easter. What is happening?
Oh my God, so many things. And at the same time, you know, the Pope.
The Pope.
I wonder if what happened on Sunday, you have the contrasting. And look, no president is ever going to be papal. We know that. He's going to wash. I mean, like Pope Francis washed people's feet to demonstrate like this is what you do as a leader. Actually,
as a leader.
And then, but now Pope Leo, and he was talking about how the leaders who are waging war need to lay down their weapons. So I don't know why the story came out then. Yesterday. Oh my God. It is. So if you don't know yet, and I should pull up the whole story because it has so many layers to it. It has like they're conjuring up this historical reference to the papacy from the 1400s where they eliminated basically the French. Okay, I need to pull up the story because I'm not doing it justice for the kind of levels of crazy this gets to.
Pull it up. I will talk while you're pulling it up, though. But there's been a lot of, you know, over the history of the Vatican, a lot of monarchies doing weird stuff with the Vatican, with the Pope and them having to hide the Pope and threatening the Pope. Like it's been horrible. But I don't think, and don't quote me on this, I don't think a Pope has been threatened since, if I'm not mistaken, I think since King Henry VIII, which was like maybe the 1500s, 1600s. I hate when I know stuff and I don't know everything because it's like,
Well, it's good that it's in there, though. It doesn't matter. But it's good that it's in there.
It is 2026. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing?
Between 1300, so the Avignon, so the Pentagon apparently
Yes.
Invited the French Cardinal Christophe Pierre, was told in January, so they invited him to D.C. And the Pentagon, right? Members of the Pentagon told him that the Vatican and the Catholic Church should get on board with the Trump administration's military tactics. And then they basically refer to the Avignon papacy, which might be obscure, and I had to dig through my brain.
No, go for it.
So between 1309 and 1377, 7 different popes resided at Avignon in southern France. I'm sure I'm saying that poorly.
That sounds right to me.
So the transfer had been strongly supported by King Philip IV of France, who previously clashed with Pope Boniface VIII, the leader of the Roman Catholic Church from 1294 to 1303, over his ability to tax the clergy without the pontiff's permission. This was against canon law. Mm-hmm. Clashes between the two continued for years over similar issues, challenging the popes and the king's respective authority until Boniface's death after the brief papacy of Benedict XI in 1304. Clement V, we're doing this. A French pope was elected through the machinations of Philip. He spent his first years undoing Boniface's legacy. Anyway, the end of the Avignon papacy led to the so-called Great Western Schism in 1378, which, following the death of Gregory XI, a French pope who had decided to return to Rome, a series of anti-popes assumed the vacant seat of Avignon. The schism was only healed in 1417. So why bring this up? So a closed-door Pentagon meeting in January, during which a Trump senior official referenced the Avignon papacy to Vatican officials as a conversation between the two parties got heated. So by the way, the culmination of months of brewing tensions between Donald Trump and Pope Leo. So, under Secretary of War for Policy, Eldridge Colby reportedly summoned Cardinal Christophe Pierre from France, his Pope Leo's then ambassador to the U.S. The line particularly enraged officials reportedly was the one saying, a diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus amongst all parties is being replaced by a diplomacy based on force. So, at any rate,
which is true and
yes.
accurate. Yeah.
As things got heated, Colby reportedly lectured Cardinal Pierre on the military power of the U.S. and told him the Catholic Church must pick a side, and then mentioned the Avignon papacy. I'm sorry. So there is no doubt, according to to those in the Catholic Church, the leaders of the Catholic Church, that a reference to the Avignon papacy by the Pentagon was meant to make the Vatican feel uneasy about crossing the Trump administration. And they also suggest that referencing this chapter of medieval history might signal the Trump's administration their intention to trigger a new schism, while others think it might be a willingness to use military force against the Holy See. I'm just saying. Because
everyone should be outraged.
Can I tell you that
Sure.
I get nervous? So there was one day, and I won't tell you what references I was making. It was a little bit. Let me put it this way: I was talking about how are there not former retired CIA agents like Liam Neeson from Taken who don't have plans? Like it's a bit. That's all I said. And I said more. And the door popped open. And I was like, oh, don't say things.
Yeah.
So
I get nervous when that door pops up.
I know, me too. So there are things that that I don't say that are, even if they're bland.
Right.
And here you invite the French, liaison for the Vatican and reference the Avignon papacy.
Yes.
In which there were wars, there was a schism, there were mirror popes, we have our own pope, go get your own, so you're threatening to basically break up the Catholic Church and possibly violence against the Holy See.
Yeah.
And
people are like, this is horrible. And where are the conservative Christians? Why are
But this is what we already knew.
I know, I just love calling out the hypocrisy of it all.
But on Friday, yes. I
just love calling out their hypocrisy.
We have to take a break because we have to come back with.
Oh, sorry.
They all saying you come for the Chicago Pope, you better bring more friends. I'm just not for nothing. I'm just saying. Have you seen The Untouchables? Someone posted on my wall. I made a video about this because he's also a Sox fan. I I mean, like, as much as we have a rivalry, I joke about the Sox. I don't tick off Sox fans.
No,
that's not.
They don't have the couth that we Cubs fans do.
I don't. I'm just saying.
They throw hands.
I'm just saying.
I know better.
When they used to call it, when Cellular owned the field, had the naming rights, my husband said, of course they call it the Cell because most of their fans belong in jail. His joke, not mine. Got to take a break here. WCPT at 29.
Hey, Progressives, it's Richard Chu, host of Chu's Views, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. here on WCPT. I want to let you know that one of our leading progressive voices, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, will be my guest the first Friday of each month at 7:30 a.m.
There are so many people who want to understand how decisions are made, and there are many people who want to know that they are included in those decisions.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, the first Friday of every month on Chu's Views here on WCPT.
This is a WCPT moment in labor. In the summer of 1909 in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, the workers of the Pressed Steel Car Company went on strike due to missing wages. 5,000 workers, mostly immigrants from Eastern European countries, walked out. They protested a corrupt payment system called pooling. The workers also claimed their wives and daughters were sexually assaulted in order to repay debts accumulated for food and housing. On average, one worker would die every day from the poor safety conditions. The workers received solidarity from the International Workers of the World, Standard Steel Car Company of Butler, and the railway trainmen and streetcar motormen who refused to haul scab workers into the city. The strike culminated in a bloody confrontation resulting in the deaths of at least 12 workers and one deputy sheriff, with many more workers injured. This led to a settlement which gave workers increased wages at a posted pay rate and ended the abuses of the company's housing practices. This has been a WCPT Moment in Labor. We're working for your rights.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
We went a little long in our first segment. Thank you, Lady B. She terrified both me and Ken Mejia-Beal because she is a Sox fan. That door popped open, didn't it?
Quickly.
Yeah,
And
she said,
I remain silent.
I'm just saying. Yeah, we didn't. No, I love you. Love you, Lady B. We're sorry. We're sorry. You're on Team Pope. I'm just saying. That's a good team to be on. So the Pentagon tried to threaten the Pope. He's from Chicago.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So let's not intimidate the Pope, but also you don't intimidate a Pope from Chicago who's a Sox fan.
So someone posted on my wall when I made this video that Chicagoans know how to do two things: rig elections and dig holes.
No comment. No comment. No comment.
Are all the Sox? See all the Sox fans?
They're all here.
I was telling you.
This is scary.
By the way, this is probably a good time to tell Logan that I need a longer arm on my microphone thing. I'm just saying. This maybe happened yesterday. I just because I had to sit back. And so this, this is good. This works. So
let's do it.
Did you see them both wince behind the glass?
Yes.
You want to come in here and intimidate me about the Sox? I'll break the equipment. Is all I'm saying. It's like that's your problem. I can do that right there. It still works. I swear.
It still works. We're going to behave for the rest of the program. We promise.
All right. So this is just the most unhinged. By the way, Vance already killed Pope. He killed the last Pope.
He did.
He was there, and the guy died.
Like, you guys, what is going on here?
I need an autopsy. Is all I'm saying. What are they? They're not here to intimidate us. They're just here to look at the equipment.
Got it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm still intimidated.
Yeah, what's happening?
I'm leaving.
It's
Goodbye.
like a softer threat. Right now, you didn't know we had
that was a hot threat. This is a cold threat. And cold threats are scarier.
You didn't know that was possible, did you?
I didn't know that was even a window until it opened. So I'm sitting here like, oh, this is scary.
Amazing. Okay. At any rate, and then here I am breaking equipment. Thank you to our sponsors. I hope you're okay with the hilarity, the nonsense that's happening here. Thank you to Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. Put in an order for your single origin, freshly roasted coffee beans. I owe you a bag of coffee. Did I give you a bag yet?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to see them at the market soon. And
I'm ready for those Arabica beans. What is it?
Which one was it? That was the Resist Movement blend.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. So go to pridecoffeeroasters.com for all their incredible coffee. Thank you to Source Solar, Monaco Brewing Company. Are You Really Winning? Those are all the sponsors of the show. Thank you so much for all your support.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's get to our phone calls.
Let's do it.
Jim from Chicago. Hey, Jim. What's on your mind, my friend? I think we have to do a rapid transmit, but go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Ken. Hi, Patty. They got to double the Swiss Guard at the Vatican. That's all they got to do. just put on more.
Not just that.
That's what guard.
Did you
That's
see?
what guards the Pope. The Swiss guard.
He's canceling all. He's not going to come to the United States. They're saying he might not come to the U.S. until Trump's out of office. However,
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't go. What's the point?
Yeah, and
he's
Trump,
going to Africa. He's going to Africa. He's going to a better place now.
Yeah.
He can help a lot better in Africa than he can here.
He also said that. So apparently Vance and Trump want to meet with him, and he said no.
Absolutely not.
But President Obama, yes. He will meet with President Obama.
Of course he will.
I mean, come on now. Anyway, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, anyway, these negotiations, think of it. You had Witkoff and Kushner. Kushner couldn't negotiate with his tenants in Baltimore. He had that slum outfit there. He got sued I don't know how many times. He couldn't negotiate with them. Mm-hmm. Then he sends them to Israel. You see what negotiations he did for the Palestinians. He wants to spend $30 billion to make $20 billion on property rights there. And then they have the nerve to send these two people to Iran. And Iran said, no, we don't want anything to do with these guys. We know what's happening. We're not that silly. So now they're going to put Vance in charge, who spent last week with Orban all week, tooting his train, if vote for Orban or else. And these negotiations are insane. And the people that's driving this negotiation is Israel. We did this on the behalf of Netanyahu. We killed all these people in Iran on the behest of Netanyahu, and he insists on putting a fly in the ointment by keeping a bomb in Lebanon. They killed 200 people there a couple days ago. 200 people killed, children, everybody. So they're as bloodthirsty as anybody on earth, as far as I can tell. But all he has to do is get forget about the Pope. Corral Netanyahu and bring him to the table and tell him that we want peace on earth. You get the picture? We want peace. Mm-hmm. Peace.
Yes.
Life is hard enough without killing innocent people all over the place. But these negotiations, and then they send out they send out this nutty wife of his.
Oh my God!
Crazy wife. We're in the middle of negotiations, delicate negotiations. And she comes out with some insane. What was she smoking? Opium or what? She must have had opium for breakfast. She just comes out with two flags and says, "I don't know nothing about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know." Who cares what you know about it? What you don't know about? We've got negotiations going on here. This is a war that's going on here. Mm-hmm. And then what about the draft, Kenny? Are you ready for the draft?
Oh yeah. This is a great point someone made because now they're going to have automatic draft, right? Does anyone know between ages?
Kenny, how old are you, Ken?
Too old, Jim.
Yeah,
too old.
Are you too old for the draft?
I'm too old. I'm way too old for the draft.
So I think it's 18 to 25.
You sure? Yeah, they might push it up to 38. But
42. They might. I mean, like.
I know. But I mean,
this is This is the craziest nonsense. I don't know how these Republicans can live with this insanity.
Oh,
I really mean it.
Because they hate Democrats more than they love our country.
Boom. There you go.
But I can understand it.
Yes.
I'm gonna ding myself.
Yeah. Patty, you talk about the Civil War. Remember, the Whig Party ran a slave owner for 2 or 3 terms for the presidency, Clay, and the Whigs and the Democrats hated each other. It's kind of similar to this. That was in 1830, 1840, in that era. But this is what's going on here is just beyond this is crazy. All this stuff. What are they really going to negotiate? And then what did Trump say? He wants to get a split of the strait. He wants to split if they give him a good split.
He wants some of the toll. He made them shut down the Strait of Hormuz by attacking them. So they're charging a toll to get through safely. And now he wants a cut of the toll that he made happen.
How much money does this outfit want to make? I mean, before they remember, Europeans said it wisely. When Trump was elected, they said, we'll just give him the humdrum for 4 years and just pray that he either croaks or goes away, because they know the American system by now. It's every 4 years we get a new president. But they didn't realize that they'd be dragged into this insanity. The word conservative really means conservative is a early 19th century term, about the middle of the 19th century, and it means synonymous with militarism. So anytime you hear Bolton or any of these people, these are conservative people who would drag your kid to war, who would drag anybody to war. No, militarism is their is in their DNA, a conservative. And but this is beyond belief because none of this makes a bit of sense.
I gotta ask you a question. So, when do you decide to have the good Irish whiskey? Like, do you have are there things that go? You know what? If this this is a day.
Well, here's a big one, baby. I had some like fruit flies in the apartment, so I put these bombs off, and I said, "Well, I'll go to the library to get a couple books." So I got the books, and I said, "Well, maybe it's supposed to be 4 hours." So I said, "I'll stop for a few drinks." So I had about 3 or 4 margaritas or 3 or 4 beers with it.
Good for you.
But anyway, I'm walking home with the books. And like I told you when I was a kid, I took judo, so I had a lot of falls in my day, so I could break a fall. But when I had these books in my hand, I couldn't break my fall right, and I hit my chest, right?
Oh, Jim.
So, but anyway, but no, listen, it's coming back. But I mean, it's coming back. It's like when you get this age, 76, everything comes back slowly. I don't care what it is.
Well,
you know
take care of yourself, Jim.
Yeah, be careful.
Listen. If I get my hands on a good bottle of Irish whiskey, I'm gonna hide it. I guarantee that. Anyway, you guys have a good night.
Thank you so much, Jim. Take care. Now I know the stories of why he stopped tipping back.
That's right.
Our friends on hold, if you wouldn't mind hanging out for one interview that I have coming up, we are going to talk to Kira, I have to make sure I pronounce her name correctly, but Pilate-Jean, who is going to talk about the Rush University Hospital. The nurses are filing a petition for a union election, which is
good
historic.
For them. Yes.
More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150. Ken Mejia-Beal, the treasurer for Youth Outlook, joins me in the studio. Go to youth-outlook.org. He is also the newly elected Midwest chair for not going to get it. No.
You got it.
No,
Victory Fund.
Victory Fund. I was so close.
So close.
So close.
So far.
I'll nail it next time. No, that wasn't it.
Victory Fund.
Victory Fund.
Yeah.
There was a sound in there. More after this on WCPT and KKNW.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Cloudy tonight with scattered showers and thunderstorms, a low temperature of 43, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. Friday, showers early in the day, otherwise cloudy with a high temperature of 47 degrees. Saturday, sunshine with a high of 50. Sunday, showers with a high temperature of 74 degrees, so a nice warm-up. Monday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 68.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Detours, no distractions, just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
I meant to do a little meditation calling for everybody so that you have your moment of silence while I... Here, let's do this. If there was a moment of silence, I probably should have done that.
What is happening right now?
Ken Mejia-Beal joins me in the studio. I was trying to let them know that we were having some tech issues in the studio, so I apologize to everyone involved, including our guest on the phone. We were talking to... I'm going to ask, because I didn't have a chance to ask before we went live. How do I pronounce your name? I don't want to guess, my friend, from Rush University.
Yes, my name is Pilate-Jean.
Oh. I am so glad I asked, because that's beautiful.
So happy you asked.
I am so happy I asked. Kira, you're on with me and Ken Mejia-Beal, and first of all, let folks know your role at Rush University.
Yeah, of course. I'm a registered nurse. I've been working as a nurse for over 5 years, and at Rush too. Currently, I work on the orthopedic neurosurgery floor, so that's like your standard hip replacements, knee replacements, some emergency surgeries, and then a lot of like cancer tumor removals as well.
Wow. Now, I do, before we say anything else, I am so in awe of the work that nurses do.
Same.
My son, who has absolutely, my son has one of the rarest, has a very rare genetic disorder. We just found out a year ago. He's 20 years old, and he's only a 53rd person in the world with something called primrose. And when he was born, he was not breathing. No one knew why this was all happening. He has hypoplasia of the corpus callosum, all kinds of things secondary to his genetic disorder. And I will tell you, the nurses that saved his life, and I know it was the nurses, the specialists. I mean, I'm grateful for them too. But he was on life support. He was on all kinds of tubes. And I hadn't been able to hold him since the moment he was born. And after 6 days, I'll never forget. I'm still friends with the nurses that saved his life. Nurse Sarah. They all have like these great vintage names, Esther and Myra, and because they're all Gen X and older. And Jody, all these great nurses who saved his life. I will never stop being grateful for the work that you all do, because they represent you. So the work that you are doing, I am so excited. So Rush University nurses have filed a petition with the National Labor Relations Board for a union election. Tell us about this and the energy that started this all going.
Hell yeah. I mean, we filed for an election yesterday. Basically, nurses have been chatting. We're always communicating with each other, and we kind of got fed up, and we wanted a real voice in the decisions that impact the patients that we take care of. And we did that by reaching out to the NNOC, and through our collective action, we were able to file this petition, and
you sound so excited because we were talking a moment ago. Now, may I ask, how long? You said you've been a nurse for 5 years at Rush. How long have you been a nurse in total? Has that been your career?
So I've been a nurse at Rush for 2, but I've been a nurse total for 5 years.
Got it.
Because so even in that time, I have to imagine we were talking about the acceleration of the people who are making massive amounts of profits off of our medical industry. Have you seen that even change in the 5 years? Because you started during COVID, for crying out loud. Wow.
Right.
Yikes.
Yep. Just at the tail end of it, really. I mean, it's kind of crazy seeing the transitions from that emergency time to now. But it's more so about being like an active participant in our healthcare system. I mean, for the day-to-day person, it's extremely confusing. You don't know what's going on when you're in the hospital behind the scenes. It's kind of like the nurse is doing everything. We're kind of everybody. We're the nutritionist. We're the IT person. We're the person communicating between the doctors and management and social work and all of that. And, there's been some great changes made as a result of COVID-19, but I think there's always an opportunity to do better, especially when it comes to our hospital. Our main goals for patient safety is safe staffing and nurse retention. One of the speakers today at the rally, she's got 40 years under her belt. The amount of knowledge that she has, the amount of patients that she's saved, the lives that she's taking care of. I mean, it's like you can't let that experience walk out the door.
No. And it boggles my mind. I don't know if you know this out of Kansas. They want to lower the standards by which nurses are trained. And it's being lobbied by a lot of these companies that own like nursing facilities. They want to fill more beds. And so they want to lower the standards. They want to cheapen what nurses do and the role that they play so they can make more money. So I am so freaking grateful that you guys are holding the line. And in Chicago, of all places, I think makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Union City, let's go.
That's right.
What has been the reaction from how does this work? I mean, obviously this is kind of a delicate territory to be in with the administrators. Like, I don't know if you can discuss any of that with us.
I mean, a lot of it's kind of too soon to tell since we just filed yesterday. We have been getting emails from management that they acknowledge that this happened and that they want us to make sure that we're getting information from both sides of the argument, basically. But it's really exciting because, not to put words in my mouth, but it says that this is Chicago's largest filing on record for a union election in the healthcare sector.
What?
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When I got the press release, I'm like, I need to talk to people about this. I need this so badly. And so, for folks who don't understand this process, because, because I think folks think, well, it's hard when, the firefighters, You know, they have a union. If they go on strike, what happens to the city? But that was how firefighters got their pensions.
Exactly.
They had a strike in 1979, and they've got it. My dad's best friend was on the executive board. He was a president of the firefighters union.
Oh, nice.
And so there's a whole legacy behind the Brotherhood of the Barrel.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are at the, I don't know what we call this, but the Sisterhood of the Scrubs, or
something like that. That sounds great.
But I mean, I know that we have a lot of men that are nurses. So I don't want to.
Yes, of course. I love my nurses.
Nurses, I like it.
But I mean, I think we're at a tipping point now where we need to understand the value of nursing, and not just that, but it has to come down to these corporations that are now buying up the hospitals.
Right.
We were talking before you came on that we know there are stories out there of hedge funds buying an emergency room, and then the emergency room is separate from the hospital. So they're not in the same network.
Right.
Like, how maddening is that for you to know that all you want to do is help people, and there's all this bureaucracy between you and the patient?
A lot of bureaucracy.
There's so much. It's kind of crazy. Initially at the first hospital that I worked at, it was a community hospital. When I first applied and started my job there, we had a janitor give us our welcome speech, and he said, I started my job here and I'm retiring here, and I hope you guys do the same, because that was just the level of community and quality that was built up there. But exactly what you were saying, it was bought out and everything changed, units closed. So that was part of my transition, my reason for transitioning to Rush. I mean, Rush is Rush. This was like a dream hospital for me to work at, and I'm extremely proud of myself for like making it in here and being able to work for this organization, and especially in orthopedic surgery. I don't know if y'all know, but Rush's orthopedic department is that. Like, if you need orthopedic surgery, Rush is where you need to go. But we want to provide the best possible care that we can as nurses. So focusing on, making management acknowledge our efforts and having, again, retention and safe staffing that's how we do it. It's evidence-based. Everything that we do has been a long line of nurses throughout the years figuring out what works best to save and help our patients. And this is just a continuation of that. We know what works. We know what improves patient outcomes. We know what improves patient safety. And we're just asking Rush to also follow through on that promise too.
What are some of the things that we can do? I mean, people listening are like, okay, how do we show our support?
Yeah, what can we do?
Yeah, what's the call to action for us?
I don't know. Maybe you can talk to Rush, send them little emails, send them little calls and stuff. I know for patients at Rush, they get surveys at the end. So, I always tell my patients to fill out their surveys. If they feel like there's a gap somewhere in the care, that's exactly where they should be putting that down. Ultimately, since healthcare is like a business model, whatever the clients and the customers are saying is what upper administration will listen to. So as a community, just give a warm smile and a kind wave to your fellow people in scrubs, and that's enough for me.
So and what do you say to people who are like, who think, because Rush is kind of the gold standard, right? In so many ways.
For a lot of things. Yes.
So I think that people have this misconception. Like it's kind of like when we think about teachers, there's this idea like, oh, they get summers off and they get all these benefits.
A lot of misconceptions.
There is.
Right.
So what do you say for people who don't understand why their nurse, who obviously cares about their job deeply, needs a union?
It's kind of like I've been using the metaphor of a prenup. And it's just a legal document that protects everybody involved. Where patient decisions are being made by management, I feel like a nurse should be there. We're the ones day in and day out standing next to the patients, taking care of the patients, having a voice and a legal representation to also support us in order to make sure that we give the best possible care is ultimately the goal.
Yeah. So I don't know if folks realize this, but there's a lot of work behind this, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And there's research behind, in Illinois alone, there's a movement to enact safe patient limits, which because there's thousands of deaths per year that could be avoided, right? So does that land for you as something as abstract? But I imagine it lands for you as real.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of see it in real time on our day-to-day. events happen and we learn from them and we try to do better as nurses and as healthcare providers. Ultimately, how change happens in healthcare is through legislation, and typically who are the ones organizing that? It's unions. So having like an expansion of unionization for nurses across the board in Chicago would be huge for Illinois for us to get that. I mean, just like look at California. I know the nurses in Michigan and Iowa have also been kind of driving a push for unionization as well. And it's not selfish at all. You know, we want to protect our job. We want to protect our patients, and that's how we do it.
I will fight anyone who thinks it's because of they're selfish.
No, anyone who thinks it's selfish is not.
I will fight them.
Educated enough to understand the value of the work you guys do.
Yeah. So just tell me what success would look like to you. I know that's a tough question.
That's a tough question.
I just put somebody else. Kira, I'm sorry, I put you on the spot.
No, it's okay, but you know what? I'm ready to answer it. Success for us looks like a speedy, fair election given to us by Rush.
I love it.
Good answer.
That's it.
Yep. Simple.
Yeah.
I need you back on the show. I don't know where you live. If you ever want to come in the studio and hang out with me and Ken,
that'd be awesome.
I'm just saying. I am not going to do your beautiful name justice. Kira Pilate-Jean.
Pilate-Jean is so close.
Ken was surprised. He's like, I think you were.
I think you got it, but no.
Yeah. That's a beautiful name.
Hit him with a little like, voulez-vous parler français avec moi? You know?
That was beautiful.
What is happening right now? So what
I understood what that meant.
It's because you're from New Orleans,
trying to charm you. I don't know if it's working.
Ken has roots in New Orleans as well, so that spoke to his soul.
I got that.
I saw generational.
You're a Creole man, yes.
Yes.
I saw like his ancestors get excited.
I lit up like a Christmas tree.
Kira, we would love to have you back. I'll stay in touch with the folks that have connected us, and we are here for anything that you need. Seriously, anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for your support.
Union strong, union proud. Thank you so much, Kira.
Thank you.
Union strong, union proud. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you. Take care. Man, that's incredible. Bye. That's incredible. No, I really, and I messaged. So when Kira's still there, I'll tell you real quick, Kira, when we found out that Declan had this, because they were all like, they said they had never seen a case like Declan. And so when we found out last year what his diagnosis was, that he had primrose, I messaged all of them, and they were still 20 years later, Kira, they were all still invested. And this is how much I love nurses. So thank you.
There's patients from the beginning of my career that I will never forget. And that's just how nursing is.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh, again, I love you. All right, be well, my friend.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Let's take a break here and come back with our phone calls on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal. More on KKNW 1150. More with Ken Mejia-Beal and our calls when we come back. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Margaret is a 71-year-old widow who came to Brookfield Tax Planning because she was worried her accountant and financial advisor weren't doing enough to reduce her taxes. During their free, no-obligation tax reduction review, it was revealed that Margaret had been overpaying $7,250 each year since her husband passed. $102,000 lost forever due to a lack of proactive tax planning. Her accountant does returns after the year is over when it's too late. Her advisor handles her investments but doesn't reduce her taxes. Once the year ends, tax reduction options shrink to almost nothing. Retirees and business owners should plan ahead now using legal proactive strategies to slash taxes. Stop overpaying. 94% of Brookfield's new clients are shocked that they've been paying too much every year. Call Brookfield Tax Planning at 708-485-3439 or visit BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com for your free review. You have nothing to lose. That's BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you, This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation. And poor Ken Mejia-Beal had to be exposed to my conversations about being in labor and delivery.
I'm okay
and
with
we'll
it.
get to it later. Because I have people who've been on hold for a while.
We gotta talk
and they've
to
been
them.
patient.
Yes.
Chi-Town Dave is on the line. Hey, Chi-Town Dave. Good to hear from you. What's on your
Good
mind?
evening.
Hey.
Hello.
Well, there's quite a bit on my mind. I'm a Cub and Sox fan. You can be both.
Oh,
You should have seen Ken's eyeballs. Like he was like, "We are not having this conversation."
This is crazy.
I used to feel that. I will tell you honestly, Ken. I felt that way until Pope Leo. I wore my Sox hat on Easter Sunday, like an Easter bonnet because it's Vatican approved, my friend.
Well, I really like Pope Leo very much.
I mean,
yeah, so do I.
Same.
I really do. And I like the Sox and I like the Cubs. So why can't you be both?
It's really not.
You know?
That's a whole conversation. I'll call you after the show is over. We'll talk about it.
We need to hear that podcast.
Yeah, I wish I could be on that podcast, but oh well. I want to say this. I'll tell you what, as a blind and disabled individual living in this country, I absolutely despise the Republicans. I despise all of you. All of you who are going to make fun of Patty, all of you that are going to bash Patty. I hate all of you with a passion. I hate you, Republicans. I hate you. I do.
Lady B's like, I don't know how we should manage this. Here's my thing is, so let me go back to how I got involved more deeply in politics.
Yeah.
In 2015, Governor Rauner made these cuts. I've talked about this a ton. $26.2 million in social services across the state. So I went down to Springfield with other mothers of kids with disabilities, with Down syndrome, with cerebral palsy, with autism. And we sat in these rooms and the things that they said in front of us about like get over it.
No,
I mean, they were like, get over it, it's done. Right? That these services, that Meals on Wheels for seniors, that the Autism Program of Illinois, the Epilepsy Foundation were all, some of them were zeroed out for funding for the like Autism Program of Illinois, we're like, we gotta close our doors. Easter seals. And so it's very hard for me, Dave, to disagree with your energy. Because I have felt that because as a broadcaster, and also as somebody who lives in this community and has been friends with people who vote anything, as long as there's no D next to their name, they'll vote for whatever, not knowing how it negatively impacts their neighbors, my family, your family, you directly.
All of us, yes.
Well, that's why I feel the way I do about Republicans.
Yeah, because they just, many of them just hate Democrats because we're Democrats. I hate what Republicans do. Fundamentally hurting people.
Why do they hate us so much? Why do they hate us so much?
Part of it has been the propaganda machine.
Yes.
Honestly, I will be honest with you, having grown up in a household where my dad would say really, it was hard because my dad would say really racist things and then treat individuals who were black, obviously married a Mexican woman. He would treat individuals above and beyond anything you would ever imagine, right? And yet would say the most horrific things. I hesitate to say the worst thing I ever heard my dad say, because I just know him to have been also a really good man. But he once said, my dad said Hitler didn't go far enough.
Oh
my God.
And that was a Reagan Republican. And it's really hard for me to say that out loud. Like, that's something I don't say out loud.
Yeah.
Because I also saw him at the Blue Angel here at Milwaukee and Foster when there was a biracial couple that came in, interracial couple. It was a white guy with a black woman, and people at the Blue Angel here at Milwaukee and Foster were making noise about how, they're letting anybody in here now. This place is really going downhill. Someone's got jungle fever.
Oh, God.
And my dad, I thought he was going to join them. He was like, whenever he got nervous, he would tap his glass with a knife, right, or whatever, silverware. And he got up and he went to the loudest table and he goes, He goes, every time you open your mouth, you show everybody in here how ignorant you are. You need to pay up and get the hell out of here. And so,
what was their response to that one?
Oh, they got, and everybody in the restaurant shut up. Like, it was, like, my dad was all a 5'4" little Irish cabbie, but this is the same man who said Hitler didn't go far. And mind you, the Hitler statement was my dad saw Schindler's List when it first came out on VHS, and we watched the whole thing, and my dad was crying at the end, and asked me if we could watch it again, because he didn't know. And in the last months of his life, he talked to me like he was crying about things he had done as a child. And to me, so that I guess that's part of why
there's a redemption there.
There is, and I guess it's why I don't say I hate Republicans. I hate what they do. I hate what my dad did. I hate what my dad said.
Yeah.
And I love the man who was capable of growth.
There is redemption. There is possible for change.
For a taxi service.
What was that?
Patty, didn't your dad drive for a taxi service where you deal with all kind of people?
Oh yeah. And he so there was a waiter that I met after my dad died. His name is Max, and he was working at a tapas bar on Wells. And he was just great, and we were just having a great time. We were laughing, and he goes, "Can I sit down?" I was like, "Yeah." We started talking. I go, "Hey, if you ever want to see a comedy show, I'm at Zany's office." And he goes, "Are you Patti Vasquez?"
Aww.
And I said, "Yeah." And he almost started crying. And he goes, he goes, "I was so sorry to hear about your father's death." So Max told me that my father said that he and his boyfriend should never get a cab because they might drop him off someplace where they didn't belong, or someplace, or might let them get hurt. He said, "Call me, I'll come pick you up and make sure that you're safe." And this was the same man who I got in a big fight in front of boyfriends when he would say, "Why do fruits got to march every year down Halstead? Don't they dance every day?" And
they too.
And I said, "Why do you gotta say that?" And he goes, "What? That's what they are." And I go, "No, well, you're an a-hole, but I don't call you that." And that's when the fight started. So I'm just saying, like, he would say the most awful things, and here was Max with a story 5 years after my dad had died, telling me that my dad just wanted, and he said when my dad picked him up on Halstead one day, he goes, maybe you boys got it right. These broads out here, they're crazy. I don't know. I don't want to deal with that. So I don't know.
Was this cab company one of the major cab companies in Chicago?
My dad drove for Yellow. He drove Yellow. He drove for Yellow Cab. He drove. I'm sorry. I was not done. My dad drove for 50 years, starting in 1950 till 2000, a year before he died.
Wow.
And he drove for Flash Cab. He drove for Flash, Yellow, Checker. He also owned a company, not for nothing. He owned a livery company called Patrician Livery.
Like it.
I'm just saying. So, and he drove for AMS. He drove for AMS Limousine. Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, wow. A limo. You're getting the classy people taking limousines.
Not for nothing. Poor Steve in the Gold Coast. Steve's going to have to wait till after the break now. Steve, I'm so sorry.
We're coming, Steve.
Because I do want to tell you, my dad.
I have a question. I have one more question for you. Where's the Democratic Party meetings in Chicago? Are there any?
Indivisible's great.
Yeah.
A great resource. What else would you?
I would say check out indivisible. I think it's .com or .org. I can't remember.
I don't have a computer, sir. I don't have a computer.
That's all right. All right. Yeah. Well, make sure you're tuning in, and I'll try to make sure you're up to date on things that are happening. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I'll make sure you got phone numbers and things like that. All right.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right. I appreciate being on the air. I want to say hello to Paul.
Absolutely. Paul.
If he's listening.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Dave.
Chi-Town Dave says hi, Paul.
But thanks, Chi-Town Dave, to Powell in Seattle.
Thanks, Chi-Town Dave.
Thanks so much. One more story, but I think I have enough time. I got 20 seconds. So one time my dad said in the 1950s or 60s, there was a young guy at the Union Station with a military bag, and he was just running around looking absolutely beside himself. And he said he was a little guy, and my dad was 5'4". And he had missed his train to Rantoul. And my dad drove him the whole way.
Wow.
And didn't charge him.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wow. So my dad was complicated, and I think that there are still complicated conservatives.
A lot of our dads are complicated.
Also, my dad voted for Al Gore, and then he died. More after this on WCPT.
Okay.
820 Heartland Signal. We'll be back after this with Ken Mejia-Beal.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire.
on ZipRecruiter. Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's authorized direct negotiations with Lebanon aimed at disarming Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants. Israel's ongoing offensive in Lebanon had threatened the tentative ceasefire agreed to with the U.S. and Iran. Meanwhile, the head of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, says the war in the Middle East has done lasting damage to the global economy.
Had it not been for this shock, the world would have been in such a much better place than we would have been upgrading our growth projections. But now, even in our most hopeful scenario, we would have a downgrade. Why? Because of significant infrastructure damage, supply disruptions, losses of confidence, and other scaring effects. They're already baked in.
Mike Kempen reports the latest estimate of the U.S. economy has been downgraded.
The Commerce Department says the American economy grew at a sluggish 0.5% annual pace from October through December. That's down slightly from the previous estimate of 0.7% growth. The gross domestic product had registered an impressive growth of nearly 4.5% in the third quarter of last year. But last fall, the GDP was slowed by the 43-day government shutdown. The economic outlook for this year is hazy after the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran drove up energy prices and disrupted global commerce. Mike Hempen, Washington.
Oil prices crept higher today. U.S. crude settling just below $98 per barrel. Brent crude just below $96. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge shows prices up 2.8% in February from a year earlier, and stocks finished with gains, the S&P and the Dow each adding about 0.6%, the Nasdaq 0.8%. This is AP News. Major League Baseball's average salary was up 3.4% on opening day this year to a record $5.34 million. New York Mets outfielder Juan Soto's the highest paid player again at $61.9 million. Meanwhile, Gethin Coolbaugh has a notable ballpark giveaway.
The Chicago White Sox will pay tribute to one of their most famous fans by offering Pope-themed hats to some who purchased tickets for their game against the Cincinnati Reds on August 11th. A limited number of hats shaped like the Pope's mitre with the team's sock logo in the middle will be distributed. They will be available to fans in certain sections the White Sox referred to as pews. Pope Leo XIV is a Chicago native and longtime White Sox fan. He attended the 2005 World Series opener against Houston in Chicago. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
There are more stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Cloudy tonight with scattered showers and thunderstorms, a low temperature of 43, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. Friday, showers early in the day, otherwise cloudy with a high temperature of 47 degrees. Saturday, sunshine with a high of 50. Sunday, showers with a high temperature of 74 degrees, so a nice warm-up. Monday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 68.
WCPT replay.
This is exactly where we are. This is how we got here because Joe Biden would not play that game. And, you know, Obama did not play that game. We certainly didn't give them the clown show that Trump does. This is why I keep trying to tell people, like, it's not the show. Mm-hmm. Don't take the rage bait. Don't be part of the show. This is how we got elected again. These people want him in there because he makes them money. He gives them fame. Everybody's paying attention right now. They didn't pay attention when Biden was in office, and he was getting so much done. But they didn't pay attention because it wasn't a clown show. There wasn't the opportunity for them to, cover him and put on a little show of standing up to him for a second and then become famous and write a book.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150. Thank you to our guest co-host, Ken Mejia-Beal. He is the treasurer for Youth Outlook. Go to youth-outlook.org to learn more about the work that they do there. He's also the newly elected chair for the Victory Fund in the Midwest, helping elect LGBTQ plus electeds. Essentially. Yes. Okay, let me get to the phone calls because I know Steve from the co-host has been on hold for a while. We covered a lot.
Need to talk to Steve.
For KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul, I would really encourage you to listen to the first hour. Maybe not. I don't know, because I got a text. There was something that I referred to as to how my dad was and would say really vile, disgusting things. And I'm so sorry, 847. I don't know if you're still listening, but I made reference to something that he said in regards to Hitler and the Holocaust, and you're absolutely right. It is stomach turning.
Yes.
And I don't know what else to tell you, but that was the complicated childhood I grew up in.
But that is your reality.
It is. I can't make that up.
No, right.
And I can't deny that my dad said really vile things and then also did really wonderful, kind things for people, but also did, again, really complicated human being that I just know was... I know that he had a terrible childhood, absolutely terrible. And I know that he lost a son in the most horrific way you could possibly imagine. My brother Michael was murdered by John Wayne Gacy, and I'm not making. I will never make excuses for what my father said or how he,
Well, let me say this because it's not an excuse. Sometimes
it's context.
It's context, and there's a duality to being a human being. And something I've learned in my own life is that throughout every chapter, there are certain chapters where I'm going to be the victim. There are certain chapters where I'm going to be the hero. And if I'm honest with myself, there are certain chapters where I'm going to be the villain because I'm a human. I am flawed, but I am learning.
Yes.
And you have to look at life in its entirety. You have to you can't look at snapshots of people's lives. You have to, we're all flawed and we all mess up and some of us try to do better and some of us don't. But there is no person that is a hero in every chapter in their life. You show me that person and I will show you a person whose whole life we do not know.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
And the face you made when I told you one of the most painful things I ever said to my father, because I couldn't handle the racist things that he would say. We fought. I can't even begin to tell you the depths of battles that we had. And then one time I said, in response to a really racist thing he said, I said, well, it was a white man that killed your son. And that, I just can't. But here's the thing is that, and we were quiet. And that was, and we actually got much closer, as he was able to remove himself from addictions, from that's
drinking. Something we don't talk about.
Right.
You and I've talked about it before. Addicts, and once again, I'm making excuses, are some of the most difficult people to deal with. They're incredibly mean-spirited sometimes, incredibly manipulative. And I don't want to say dishonest because I think they live in their own reality, which is different from the real reality. Addiction is very powerful.
Yeah.
It is very powerful.
And so that's. I just wanted to put a little. It's not really a bow on that conversation, but just to sort of come full circle on some of it. There's a lot to it, and that's why I was trying to write a book. And then my siblings came out of the woodwork and were very angry about some of the chapters I've already released, and so I have to reimagine that. In the meantime,
can I say something really quickly though?
Yeah.
And I wish we had this conversation off the air. I will say this, because I usually have issues when siblings or family members come in. We all take ownership of our parents and our journey. So however nasty it might be, it is still yours to tell.
Yes.
And that's all I'm going to say. And you can. Yeah.
Well, and my mother, she's carried a massive amount of this burden as well.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. So I said, at any rate, with that in mind,
let's talk to Steve. Let's get to Steve.
Steve, a lot's happened since you called in, and I'm sure your brain's like, I don't even know where to go. So we were talking earlier about the Pope and how this administration has threatened the Pope, and I don't know if that's what you wanted to call about, but hi, Steve from the Gold Coast. The microphone is yours.
How's it going,
we will sit
Steve?
back.
Yeah.
Hello, let me just turn off the alarm clock. Given how long I've been holding, but
it's
sorry, Steve.
It wasn't quite an hour,
Yeah.
but it was pert near close. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No. And I want to raise a couple of points. In terms of what you were just discussing, I mean, yes, I think sometimes we all engage in, what's called presentism. We look back at our parents or grandparents or other people who grew up in a different time, different place. Mm-hmm. Some things are, it's not to defend the things that they did. It is to put them in context, to explain that in a different world, in a different time. We all like to think to ourselves, oh, my God, if I was living back then, I would have done something completely different. No, chances are you wouldn't have. Because we're the product of our environments. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, so that's point one. And then two, with regard to why I called in, I mean, there's always been this acrimony between the religious right, which makes up much of the base of MAGA, and the Catholic Church. I mean, keep in mind that though they like to frame themselves as Christians, the reality is that they are not talking about Christianity in terms of Catholicism or Eastern Orthodoxy. That's my parents' background. They are evangelical Christians. And that's what they're talking about. They're worried about the Joel Osteen crowd, not the Roman Catholics of the world, when they're talking about who they're alienating. And the last few popes have had issues with, the way in which we've conducted ourselves, especially in terms of this administration. So, yeah, they're not afraid of alienating those people. There are, like I say, evangelical Christian groups which they would be afraid of alienating. But, what defines America, and without getting too far into the wilderness here, it is not this notion of, shall we say, all people who are of European extraction are in the same boat. No, there's a hierarchy. There are white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and I'm not one of them. And my parents immigrated from the Balkans, and I can sit here for an hour and tell you about all the times in my life and their lives when they were told, you're not actually white, or you're not fully white, or you're not you're not like we are, you're not really Christians, all of this sort of thing. So, you could walk through a store and not be followed by security, but you're not getting into a country club, or you're not going to get into a university 20, 30 years ago necessarily, unlike somebody who was fourth generation, there, and ancestors came off the Mayflower kind of people. So, yeah, it's a very different world.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Did you? I feel like he just dropped off. What happened there? That was so weird.
Oh, Steve, it got really quiet. We thought we lost you.
Yeah, no, I agree.
100%. And I think when you look at the history of this country, everything you just said is very accurate when you describe just the levels of proximity to privilege is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Patti, I know, is partly of Irish extraction. I mean, a century ago, you could walk around and pick up a newspaper and find depictions of Irish people that look like apes, and literally signs that Irish need not apply, and this sort of thing. So, yeah, there is a hierarchy that's always existed. It's ethnic, it's religious, it's class-based. There are just so many dimensions to this, and sometimes we get into this oversimplification of this, and this. Okay, there are 3 or 4 groups, and that's it. Society is a lot more complex than that.
It's interesting you say that because, my son is writing his thesis about prohibition and the ethnic elements of that in Chicago specifically.
Oh, cool.
And it's oh my God, it's amazing. I'm just like, I'm reading. I'm like, what am I reading? But at any rate, when you say that though, because one of the elements I just read in his thesis is about how, and we know this, about how the Irish in Chicago were able to sort of be elevated by their participation in politics and in the police force and different avenues that were sort of opened up for them. And yet, so my grandfather's house is underneath the Dan Ryan Expressway, right? So to your point about like ethnic neighborhoods that were chopped up, Black communities, continue to be, because generationally the energy behind choking off communities like that's the one thing is that the proximity to privilege pretty much seems like it's been granted to almost every single group. I mean, Latinos even had better opportunities until we were targeted by Department of Homeland Security to like have that as a talking point for George W. I mean, I remember. So I chose my mother's maiden name to distance to give my family some privacy when it came to our family's history with my brother, and so I chose Vasquez, and it was fine in the 90s. It was like nobody said anything. 2000, I remember 2002 or 2003. My manager called me. He goes, "We're having trouble booking you. They don't want to book Latinos." And would you consider? Like, I had agents asking me to change my name in the 2000s. In the 90s, nobody said anything.
Insane.
I mean, the most racist thing was I remember calling my talent agent and saying I hadn't gotten any calls for auditions. I was like 23, and she said we haven't had any calls for young Latino moms. Like that was the only thing I play, right? So that was the worst of it. But it wasn't like change your name. I have a whole box of headshots at home with the name Patti Bannon. Because I just chose sort of not my real name, but close, but also an Irish actor named Ian Bannon. I was gonna go Patty V for a while.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it's interesting to me when we talk about like the elevation, like 100 years
of privilege.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, and your son's work is really interesting because, and I'm sure he knows, the whole notion of prohibition, that was something forwarded by, again, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants and, the church-going crowd that felt that, it was that drinking was deteriorating the family and it was undercutting productivity in our factories. But in places like Chicago, where we had what was called white ethnics, or wets, as we call them in political science.
I just read that.
Yeah, so... Yeah, exactly. So those are the people who said, "Are you out of your mind? We come from Southern and Eastern Europe. We come from Ireland. We drink, and nobody has a right to tell us not to drink." So what was going to happen? Those were going to be the people who were going to say, "Well, I mean, screw you guys and your law. We're going to produce booze," and everybody drank it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah, it's all, and also what I didn't realize about the nativist, what they consider to be nativist born, like the people that felt they could trace themselves to the settlers and the colonizers essentially.
Got it.
Yeah,
I did know that part.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. The Protestants, and to your point about it disrupts productivity, which comes from the puritanical settlers who came here. Anyway, so it was
right. And the irony being that, when it was first proposed, the only reason everybody went along with it was to placate that base, but no one thought it would get passed. And after a while, they managed to garner enough support, and then all of a sudden, wow, we've got enough support to get prohibition passed. We really don't want it passed. And it turns out, years into the exercise that was prohibition, the people who had access to booze were the wealthy people. You could go to clubs openly in Chicago and New York, other places, in a tuxedo, get dropped off in front in a limousine, and you were served anything you wanted. Poor people were the ones who got in trouble.
Yep.
So again, this interesting dynamic.
Not much has changed.
Can I tell you the name of his? Can I tell you the name of his thesis? Foreigners and Fanatics.
Oh, I like
Prohibition, Ethnicity, and Chicago's Struggle to Define America.
I want to read it.
I mean, I think I have to wait till he turns it in.
Yeah,
I was asked for my opinion. I was reading this. I'm like, where's my thesis? I have to see how this compares. I was not this good. 30.
Well, let me say, anybody who gets into the University of Chicago is someone who could have gotten into Harvard or Yale or Princeton. So that is an accomplishment in and of itself. So
thank you.
Just for those of you who don't know.
And I'm not in debt. I'm just saying. This kid, when he was bored, I was like, we should really start a college fund. And when he was like 5, we should get on that college fund. And when he's like in high school, I was like, I hope he gets a scholarship. This kid better be okay. Thank you, Steve. Have a great night. That was
Take
great.
care, guys.
Thank you for holding on so long. I appreciate it. Let's
No problem.
thank you. Let's take a break here. When we come back, well, first we have to thank our sponsors. Thank you to Source Solar, Pride Coffee Roasters, Minocqua Brewing Company. Are you really winning? Thank you so much to all of you, and also to my guest co-host Ken Mejia-Beal, who's holding on for dear life for these conversations.
It's a pleasure.
It's been a lot today. I feel like thank you for coming to my therapy session. I really appreciate your time. When we come back, we will continue to take your phone calls at WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950. Thank you. This isn't reach. There we go.
That's the sound of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, saving you money and energy. With rebates on Energy Star appliances, so you can come back to a home full of savings. Discover more ways to save at ComEd.com/home savings. ComEd, powering lives.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy who can fix my lamp?
I do. At the Township of Lyons Repair Cafe, neighbors help neighbors repair all sorts of things from lamps to vacuums. Little acts of mutual support that make a big difference.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy who can notarize documents?
The Township of Lyons has lots of notaries on staff ready to help.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy?
At the Township of Lyons, we are your guys. Whatever you need, we work to bring more resources right to you.
Check out the Township of Lyons online, Lyons with a Y, LyonsTownshipIL.gov.
Tell me how you're doing, really. Tell me that you missed the bus this morning, your rent's past due, and your stress level has skyrocketed. I'm here for you, to listen, not judge, to connect you to local mental health resources. No matter what you're going through, specialists like me from NAMI Chicago Helpline are here for you. Call or text Helpline to 833-626-4244. That's 833-626-4244.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
Thank you so much for joining us. Continue driving it home. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Ken Mejia-Beal, treasurer for Youth Outlook. Go to youth-outlook.org and support the great work they do there. He's also the Midwest chair, newly elected for the Victory Fund, electing LGBTQ plus candidates.
Yes, across the country.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that so much. And what's the website for them?
Victoryfund.org.
I love it. Let's make sure I almost feel bad taking calls as they come in now because Steve and Chi-Town Dave were on hold for so long.
They really
were. I don't think we need to make Roosevelt wait. I mean, because now we have time.
No, Roosevelt's a regular.
I know, but so is Steve.
But so is Steve. I'm just trying to make Roosevelt feel good. So let's talk.
I'm trying to make Steve from the Gold Coast feel better about.
Got it.
Okay, so here's a weird. I'm making Roosevelt wait. Here's a wild story about Steve from the Gold Coast. Have you met Warren Price, who's my car guy? He comes in sometimes. He has a show now on Saturday mornings at 9. If you need your car stuff, Warren is your car concierge. Your automotive
I need
needs.
to listen.
For whether you have an accident, you need a new car, if you're just trying to find the best insurance rates, he'll walk you through everything, right? So I've known for a long time that Steve from the Gold Coast has gone to Warren for years. Warren had a car shop at European U.S. Car Service at Milwaukee, at Irving and Broadway.
I know that. I can visualize it.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was because he would always be he was a big sponsor of the Pride Parade, and they had like the whole roof and everything. He has since sold the business, and now that's why he has the show and has his own business. And Steve, it turns out, Steve from the Gold Coast and Warren. This is part of our promo now because it was on the show. At some point, they were dating the same woman. I mean, my shows. It got interesting.
Yeah.
The tea was everywhere. There were.
I love when that happens.
I was just like, what? I don't know what to do with this information. These are people I've known Steve from the Go Coast for what now, 4 or 5 years.
That's when you pull up the popcorn and say,
like,
tell me everything.
And that's why I kind of felt bad putting him on hold because of his legacy here. And Roosevelt, how are you doing today, Roosevelt? That was only 2 more minutes. How you doing? Oh, he's eating now. He's
oh no.
That's fair. That's fair. I made him wait. Wait the extra time. What's up? What's up, Roosevelt?
It's a couple of cashews. Ken and Patti, I don't feel so good. I know you guys wanted me to feel so good. Guess what I just found out about an hour ago?
Oh God.
Okay. Oh yeah. So Mexico had the first woman president before us. Mexico has surpassed from 30 years ago the export of vehicles, of cars to Canada for the first time last year as of 2025. In other words, they sell more cars to Canada. It used to be the U.S. used to do that, okay? So they surpassed that. Keeping score here, Mexico's first woman president. Now, just found out an hour ago that the president of Mexico is rolling out universal health care for millions of people.
Yes.
Did you guys hear about that?
I heard that on the way to the studio today, and I thought that is awesome.
Roosevelt, do you ever think about getting citizenship in Mexico? I'm just curious.
You know, I was born in Mexico. I should have double citizenship, but I never.
Make your appointment. Make your appointment with the embassy. My friend, one of my friends, just his mother's from Mexico. He now has dual citizenship. He needed his mother's birth certificate. He needed his mother's birth certificate. He needed his parents' marriage certificate, and he finished the process.
Good for him.
Yeah, and it's funny you should ask that because I was going to ask you back. Did you ever think about moving to Mexico? I mean, because look, you got, hold on, let me cut you off for real quick. Because Eva Longoria lives 6 months of the year in Mexico. She learned Spanish. She knows Spanish. I seen her kid, because she posts these videos. I seen her kid speaking Spanish. She can't be no more than maybe 5 years old. And she lived 6 months of the year in Mexico and the other 6 months in Spain. Of course, she could afford it. But I just wondering.
So Steve and I have my husband and I have a lot of conversations because we went to, as you know, we went to Scotland last year and fell in love with it. We both are of Irish descent. My great grandparents are from Ireland, and there apparently is a possibility. If my dad had gotten citizenship, I would have been able to have more direct citizenship. I have friends who have moved to Mexico and are extremely happy. Actually, Dr. Susana Flores and her husband, Rue, who is from Scotland, will be on the show tomorrow, guest co-hosting with me as well. And so we'll learn more. They've moved to Merida, Mexico. And she's my friend from New Orleans. Well, from Chicago.
I remember. Great wedding.
Oh, my God. Right?
I remember.
So I will talk to them a little bit more about Rue just was done with Scotland for whatever reason. So we are having conversations about what that looks like because we just need to know when we are no longer able to care for Declan, whether it's because we just don't have the physical ability or we are not here, that he's in a country that has health care available to him. And this is not it. This is not it. And it's why, I've said this before, it's why I ran for office, because Illinois, for all the things that we do well, we are one of the worst in the country when it comes to services for people with disabilities, for senior services. I mean, look, there's a caregiver crisis across the country. I was out loud. When I say out loud, it hits me very hard. I have a 20-year-old son who needs 2 people to change his diapers because he cannot he's functionally, and this is hard for people to listen to, but he's missing a part of his brain. He is severely disabled mentally, physically. We have to change his diapers every 3 hours. I can't go farther leave very often. Like once in a while, but he's become combative. I don't know any other way to say that. He doesn't. I mean, what 20-year-old man wants to have his parents wiping their butt, and he's done with it, and yet so he like kicks. I mean, like he uses the front of my body when I'm changing him like it's a climbing wall with his feet. I've been kicked in the face. I mean, I don't have to tell you. I don't know how much time I have left to be able to, and I don't know how we also are able to pay somebody enough to be able to care for him too. So I don't know where this goes for my family, but it's not here. I know that unless things change drastically, to answer your question. And so I think that, I honestly don't know how we do this. And I'm not alone. There are parents who are listening right now who don't talk about these things. And I have a friend named Holly who, when I would talk about the things that Declan would do, I mean, like, and it's horrifying. When he was younger and she's like, no one wants to hear that. I'm like, but if we don't tell people what life is like for 10% of the population,
then people don't know.
Then people don't know how bad this is. I mean, like, that Declan would reach into his pants and start eating the fecal matter. Like, I don't know how to explain to anybody how you can't turn away. We are on hyper alert. We are in emergency mode 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the fact that I hold my crap together astounds me too. I'm just saying. Anyway, so yes, I'm looking at Ireland and Mexico. Scotland.
Thank you for sharing that, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna add to that, Ken, because what you do on the radio and just what you said and what you've been saying all along since you started and opening up about your personal life, it helps a lot of people because the people don't normally do that. Meaning, open up their private life, and it does help. And because you're not the only one in this situation. I'm sure there's a lot more people out there that, are going through the same thing. And to me, it helps a lot of people. And it gives us, a lot of information that we normally are not exposed to unless somebody's in it, meaning like somebody like you. And I want to thank you for that. So, that's one of the things that,
and the fact that I can do this is entirely because of two other people. And look, and I don't want to dismiss all of the incredible providers and caregivers that have helped us over the last 20 years. But were it not for a remarkable amount of effort that my mother has put in throughout her career to provide and make sure that we are safe, I couldn't do this. And I'm with my husband, who is, the divorce rate in our community is over 72%. Yeah. And I mean, Steve is an incredible human being that I can't even begin to describe. I was telling somebody earlier today, like I will drop everything for my boys, and there are 4 human beings, and so I am. But to that, I have a 20-year-old son who needs all of this energy and money and time, and I have a 91-year-old mother who is incredibly independent. And I need to make sure that she is safe as well. I live with both of them. And so I am, mm-hmm. It is the weirdest sandwich I've ever seen. And I know that this country is just absolutely one of the worst when it comes to making sure that families like ours, that seniors like my mother, who deserves respect and dignity in her age, she gets it in part, and not even to the level that she deserves. I mean, I do the best that I can. And even then, like, she's grateful that I come downstairs and give her some of my, whatever I made for dinner. And I feel bad that she's like so grateful. I'm like, this is the least I could do, lady. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, don't make me and Ken cry. We have another interview to do.
Yeah. And Ken and Patty, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you guys ever been to Mexico?
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love Mexico.
I love Mexico City, yeah.
Oh, my God.
The reason why I'm asking is because the big cities like Mexico City, Monterrey, which is where I'm close from, Monterrey, Mexico, Nuevo Leon, the state of just right across the border of Texas. I mean, you'd be surprised how many blue-eyed, blonde.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me started on why that happens.
But, I want to share something else with you, Roosevelt. You probably know this. I read today, and I don't remember where I read it, but Mexico City was just voted the best capital in the world. Like the best.
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, the best capital in the world.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Can I add to that?
As long as you apologize to my guest, Gwen, who's on hold right now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Latin America, the highest approval of a president or a leader, because we know there's a lot of dictatorships, is Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum at about 72-73%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How's that?
Amazing.
That's
Thank you. Thank you, Roosevelt.
Thanks, Roosevelt.
And
Thank
say sorry, Gwen. Say it right now.
Sorry, Gwen.
More to this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150. We're in studio. Oh, and KTNF AM 950, of course, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, where our guest coming up in just a moment is broadcasting from. And Ken Mejia-Beal, guest co-host in studio with me. Let's go quick to the break so we can get this conversation going.
Let's do it.
With our next guest, Gwen Lane, who is a strategist and activist in Minnesota.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Cloudy tonight with scattered showers and thunderstorms. A low temperature of 43 with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. Friday, showers early in the day, otherwise cloudy with a high temperature of 47 degrees. Saturday, sunshine with a high of 50. Sunday, showers with a high temperature of 74 degrees, so a nice warm-up. Monday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 77 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 68.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
In 1776, we defied a corrupt king, and the America we love was born from that defiance. Now it's time to do it again. America is in crisis, but patriots across the country are standing up to save her for ourselves and our posterity. Show your support with the No Kings lapel pin, a 1-inch by 1-inch standard American flag lapel pin embedded with our No King symbol. So much better than that tacky red hat. It's a subtle but powerful way to say you've had enough of wannabe dictators and you're doing something about it. Every day, keep our movement going by wearing this pin that clearly says what freedom-loving Americans are thinking. There are no kings in America, and there never will be. Go to store.politicalvoicesnetwork.com. That's store.politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Get your No Kings lapel pin now.
After serving in the military, life can seem like an endless loop. But the cycle can be broken. You're not alone. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Here's great news for those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Ken Mejia-Beal. He's the treasurer for Youth Outlook. Go to youth-outlook.org. And also the newly elected Midwest chair for the Victory Fund, electing LGBTQ plus candidates across the country. And now joining us on the line is Gwen Lane, who is a Minnesota-based strategist and activist. Hey, Gwen, how are you doing today?
Good, Patty. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't know if we have an echo. Is the echo from us, Lady B? Oh.
Okay.
We'll work through it.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's all good. Gwen, so tell us a little bit about, so where did you grow up, my friend?
I grew up in LA, so I actually moved to Minnesota 5 years ago because my stepdaughter lives here. And then, yeah, that's how I ended up in Minnesota.
That had to be a little bit of a cultural and the climate shock for you, wasn't it?
The climate especially.
For sure. But I actually met my husband through hiking. So I'm one of those girls that can layer up and know how to survive in the mountains. So I actually think I had a head start on my Minnesota training.
Beautiful.
Amazing. So how did you get involved with what was happening locally in Minnesota?
Well, I mean, because the ice stuff started happening in LA, I was already aware of it because I was following people, accounts there. You know, my sister still lives there. I used to live in the fashion district, and I saw that they were getting hit pretty heavily there in the downtown area where I grew up. And so I think, call it women's intuition. And I was like, what's happening there? I talked to some people here in Minnesota, and they're like, no, it's in California. It's never going to happen here. But then, yeah, of course, like my husband likes to say, I was right.
Does he like to say it, or does he just have to?
That was my impression of my husband liking to say that, right?
So, you know, what did you think? I mean, when did the sort of momentum behind trying to protect folks in the community start to really gain momentum?
I think that at first it was kind of, we were unknown and we're looking at what was going to happen. But with the announcement of the Metro surge is kind of when everyone started to see the escalation. And that was when people started mobilizing. And there have been organizations here that were established in 2020 and even before that, with like the George Floyd protests happening, and the network still existed. And so that's when people started creating rapid response training so people could start witnessing, filming, having whistles, and kind of alerting people to where ICE was so that people would not be targeted on their way to work, or as you saw, like sometimes during school pickup and drop off. And so neighbors really started to mobilize and get organized.
The moment Renee Good was murdered in front of our eyes was, I mean, the fact that we are all going along in our day-to-day activities still is shocking to me. And I can't imagine what it's like to be in Minneapolis. And then Alex Preddy, in the seconds of that store, I mean, like, we saw the images.
It was horrible. Very traumatizing, actually.
Talk to us a little bit about, how that has also, because we focus on the two people that stood up for them, for people in the community, I mean, who were Black and brown. How hard was that to, sort of absorb, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, well, I mean, while that before that happened, they were already targeting and profiling Black, brown, and indigenous folks. And there was, I don't know if you saw the Hmong grandpa that was like dragged out in the middle of the snow with like shorts and Crocs on. So that was like a huge, like, eye-opening thing, especially for the Asian community, which I'm a part of. And there's a big Hmong community here in Minnesota, like one of the biggest in the United States. And so we were already being targeted. And so I think when they, murdered Renee Good and Alex Preddy, them being white, people were, I think, even more scared, because if they could do this to white people, what would happen to Black, brown, and indigenous people, and if it wasn't on camera? And so that really, I think, escalated people's fear, and that's why a lot of people just started sheltering at home. And that's when people started not going to work, kids stopped going to school, and then we had the whole grocery runs and like all of the things to help people who could not leave their house.
And how, I feel as though we've all moved on. And this is still a grip on Minneapolis, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I think people started going back to work because, there's less activity that people are seeing. There's been less reports the last couple of weeks and months, but we are still seeing people released from Whipple in the middle of the night. Luckily, that organization Haven Watch is there all the time waiting, and everyone is reporting, and so people are still on Signal chats. So people are still reporting into People Over Papers, that website that, you know, everyone screenshots to show where the activity is. And we're still looking out for people. But yeah, the general consensus is kind of, oh, we've moved on. The news cycle, obviously everyone's looking at Iran and Lebanon and all the things that are going there. But in Minnesota, people have just started, you know, coming out of their houses. And so how have these people been able to, you know, afford rent? People have been deported. Their families have been torn apart. They're looking for members of their family. Some of them don't even know where they are because they get shipped out. And there's like nowhere to track them. And so we are still definitely in it and feeling all the effects of that.
Now, I know on Saturday there's going to be I think I can say this on the air. There's going to be a phallic celebration at the Broadview. I don't know if I can say the other word or not, but let's be safe. At the one of the facilities in the Chicagoland area, you can guess which one. This was something, I believe this was is it Naughty Kitty that was the organization that started this in Minneapolis as well? Hello? That was me. I had to mute you for a second. We were getting an echo.
Oh. Did I get disconnected or?
Oh, you couldn't hear me. I'm sorry. I was asking you. Oh, see. So we have an echo, so I was trying to figure out a way to fix it. So I was asking you about there's a phallic celebration at Broadview here in Chicago coming up soon. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it out loud, but there are posters about it. I believe that originated out of Minneapolis because of Naughty Kitty. An adult toy store. Smitten Kitten, that's it. Smitten Kitten. Everyone go to smittenkitten.com, by the way, to support the work they do. But tell us a little about the events like that, as well as the daily protests, the dance parties there.
Yeah, so Smitten Kitten has really stepped up for the community. They're a sex shop based in uptown Minneapolis, where I used to live before I moved out to the burbs. But they have been collecting money, supplies, donations at their shop. And then I think one of the protests, someone bought a bunch of those toys and started throwing them at the ICE agents' cars. And I'm sure you've seen the videos and the photos of that.
I love when they stick.
Bullseye, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and so we actually have one this Saturday because I don't know if you know this, Patty, but it's National F Ice Day. I don't know who declared that, but we are celebrating on Saturday with a Bye Bye Bondi dance party at Whipple Building this Saturday.
That sounds like fun.
Nice. And I, not for nothing, but you can probably find similar events in the Chicagoland area, folks.
Yeah, so there are people that are at Whipple every single day, and they are filming to show like all the cars that are still arriving. I believe I saw a video today of more cars arriving, so there's still activity there, and so people have gone there to just wait for people being released and to just, you know, that's a spot for protesting.
Outstanding. Well, Gwen, we appreciate your time with us today and the work that you and so many folks in Minneapolis are doing. Folks can follow Gwen at Hey Gwen Lane on all platforms, and we'd love to talk to you again sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Let's take a break here and continue our conversation when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 in Seattle and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Sorry for the echo. I didn't have a way to. It's one of those things where I can't. It happens. I didn't. Sometimes, let me put it this way: when there's a tech issue and I know where it's coming from, like I know it's hard for the listeners, but there's not a smooth way to get to the finish line sometimes. So thank you, everybody. Also, I was going crazy listening to myself.
That's okay.
To more after this on WCPT, KKNW, and KTNF.
Choose Views with Richard Jew.
If the Democrats had the House and the Senate, we wouldn't be in this carnage that we're in right now because they would be putting the brakes on Donald Trump. So if you wonder about the stress and all the things you're going through and you think, well, what can I do? Call the office of a candidate that's running in another state and ask, what can I do to help? Embrace the ability to be able to help in another state, 1,000 miles away. Technology puts you in a powerful position. The internet puts you in a powerful position. Social media does.
Richard Chew, weekday mornings at 6.
Is credit card or other debt making it difficult to pay your rent or mortgage? Home insecurity is often the unintended consequence of an inability to pay mounting credit card debt, student loans, or medical debt. But by working with a nonprofit credit counselor, you can avoid or reduce the risk of eviction or foreclosure while tackling debt for good. For more information about how nonprofit credit counseling can help, visit nfcc.org. Made possible in part by the nonprofit Wells Fargo Foundation.
The key to unlock the next breakthrough in life-saving cancer research could be sitting in your driveway. Stand Up to Cancer's vehicle donation program makes it easy to turn your unwanted vehicle into funding to support innovative cancer research. These innovations lead to better cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment, which means we can help save lives right now. Cancer affects all of us. Today alone, 5,370 people in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer. It will take all of us standing up together to put an end to it. So when you're looking to get rid of your old car, truck, motorcycle, RV, or boat, why not donate it to Stand Up to Cancer? Donating is easy and tax deductible. We'll even tow your vehicle for free. You can be a driving force in cancer research. Donate your car today. Visit standuptocancer.org/cars to learn more.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
That's me.
Yes.
Do you know how weird it is for me, Ken Mejia-Beal, when I'm in my house? I listen to WCPT all day long.
As you should. Plug.
I'm just saying. And when, I'm like, what is she talking about? What's Patti Vasquez got to say now? It's so weird. It is so... I don't think I'll get used to it. Like when I was at another station, like this station teaches me much better, first of all. So like the other one, there was a little bit of trauma associated to it. But here I'm just like, it just makes me so happy. I mean, like to show up and have Lady B, like, you know.
Lady B makes me happy. And today I got to get a Lady B hug.
You got a hug and you got a little bit of the Sox fan busting through the door going, what?
Well, I got looked like three angry Sox fans.
Wasn't it funny?
I didn't know that was a room. So it's a lot happening today.
I like that. So this blind, I remember the first time that happened, I was also confused. It does remind me of something. Now you've gone door knocking for candidates.
I thought you were going to say a police interrogation.
Wow. Because it's a two-way.
I was like, I don't want to talk about that.
No.
I've been door knocking.
The blinds. So I don't know if you've ever seen this. I was telling Joe Kilgallen. I was going to have him on panel with you, but we'll reschedule. I think you'd like to hang out with him too. So he's in the neighborhood. So one day I was door knocking and I saw my list. I'm like, I didn't know he lived in my neighborhood. I'm like, is it the Joe Kilgallen? And I was like, I was so excited. I rang the bell and it was comedian Joe Kilgallen in my neighborhood. Opened the door. He put like a fortress of lawn signs, like all angled Patti Vasquez lawn signs everywhere.
Gotta love it.
And I was telling him the other day, it was one of my favorite doors. However, and there were so many, like in my community. But one day I was over here by the Forest Preserve. There's a golf course here on the northwest side, but kind of by the Superdog. And I was on a porch, and this guy, like, it was one of those porches where the like a bay window like was off to my side, and I see that kind of blind, but it lowers like this. So he lowered it like just so he could like
see. Wilson from Home Improvement.
Yes, it was just here, right? And I could see his head go. like you can see he's like, I guess I got to answer the door. She saw me, right? She's still there. So he opens the door and he's looking at my walk piece, right? You have a lit for who you are. It's got a picture of you and stuff like that. And he's looking at the picture and he's looking at me and he goes, Patsy? And that was my name until I was 9 years old. He was a friend of my father's. And he couldn't believe it. I had that whole block I was a Patti Vasquez fortress. He was a firefighter. My dad, as I mentioned earlier, his best friend, Desi O'Neill, was a former president of the fire.
Crazy.
I still have the buttons from the Brotherhood of the Barrel. Yeah. I wanted a dog when I was a child. And there was a cockapoo. It was a Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix.
Cockapoos are adorable. The grooming bills, but they're adorable.
I was promised a cockapoo from this litter. Only he turned out to be a scab. I was not allowed to have that dog. He crossed the picket line for the firefighters.
Oh,
I did not get the cockapoo. You know what? But I ended up with Pepper, who was a schnoodle. Ultimately,
a Schnauzer poodle.
Yep.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, she was glorious.
Schnoodle.
So that scab meant that I got to have a schnoodle. I'm just saying. I did not get a cockapoo. I got a schnoodle. These are the things.
These are the things. These are the days of our lives.
I'm just like, but everything came on that moment. He knew me since I was 4 years old.
You know, I was knocking doors in Naperville, and a lady opened the door, and I'm doing my spiel. And she goes, "Are you little Kenny Beal?"
Oh,
and I said,
"Come on."
She goes, "I worked with
little Kenny Beal."
Little Ken. I said, "Possibly." She goes, "I worked with your dad," and she was a former teacher at a school my dad worked. So I was like,
It's the best thing. I can't explain.
It was hilarious.
When you door knock in the neighborhood you grew up in or have deep ties to, or any of that. I'm just saying.
It was just like, what are you doing here? She goes, what are you doing here? But yeah, it was great.
Amazing. I was on a front porch one day, and because I was running against the incumbent, I did not have walk sheets. I did not have a list yet. I didn't have minivan. We were just. I was almost.
That's a whole episode but let's we'll talk about that.
So I was basically going door to door. I mean, we had some old lists. We had the former secretary, the former attorney general, state's attorney. We had, because she was Latina. Right. So we were like, someone had gotten those for us. So we were kind of going on those doors. And these folks answered the door and they asked me, Democrat or Republican? And I said, Democrat. And they were about to slam the door on me. And I looked at the name on the door because I didn't have sheets.
Right.
I just was going door to door.
No sheets.
For petitions. And I go, any relation to Sean R. Scott? And they were like, that's our nephew. I went to grade school at Our Savior Lutheran Norwood Park with Sean R. Scott. And they were like, window sign, lawn sign. I mean,
there you go. It's those connections. It's those connections.
And that's one of the things that, so this kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier with politics and hating somebody because they're Republican. So we had a listener call in earlier saying they hated Republicans, and I hate what Republicans do. I hate what Republicans enable. Because I grew up in this community where this neighborhood went, especially north of us, went predominantly the majority went for Trump. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I can't, believe me, I have rage.
As you should.
But I've written about this recently. I fight from a place of love.
Yes.
And so I can't. I fight for the people who do hateful things too.
And there's hope that there's a redemption arc.
Right. That's what we're talking about.
Because as soon as I lose hope in humanity, I want just take me out.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah, and I think what's hard is that we know there are more good people.
Absolutely.
There are also people who just stay out of it. I mean, we know from the turnout from this primary. Maggie O'Keefe put out a video about voter turnout was lower for the primary compared to 2018. People just didn't show up. So I almost resent that as much as I hate the people that are doing the hateful things, or the people who are sitting on the sidelines. I mean,
I have a theory on that too, but we are out of time.
No, we're not.
Oh, well, my theory on that is so many voters are so disenchanted.
I know.
And I get in trouble for this all the time because people say, "Why are you beating up on the blah blah blah?" Voters are disenchanted, and we have to give people a person to vote for, not a person to vote against.
I agree. And
that's what it comes down to.
The values and the mission that they stand for.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, all right, then. We haven't fixed anything. And
we did fix something. We fixed we took someone out of their funk. There's someone listening to us right now that's smiling, that is ready to go forth and be awesome.
All right, I'm going to go home. I'm going to make something for the first time in my life. I'm going to make chorizo pasta with cherry tomatoes and a cream sauce.
That sounds amazing.
You look confused.
No, not confused.
I never would put that together either. I have too much chorizo in my house.
Not confused.
But I have protein pasta.
Concerned. There's a lot of flavors.
That's fair. That's why it's a cream sauce. So I'm going to tamp it down. Oh, you're worried about my Irish husband? That's fair. Yeah. Thank you, Ken Mejia-Beal. Go to youth-outlook.org. I need you back here soon.
Whenever Jerry books me, baby.
I'm just saying. We will have you back soon.
Yeah.
And that's a really good question, Griffin. Oh, he's texting me. Lady B, I love you. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters, Source Solar, Monaco Brewing Company, and Are You Really Winning? Talk to you tomorrow, everybody. I hope I'll pull it together.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created.